Hey, everybody, welcome to the MURCA Guns and Freedom podcast with your host, me, the Yankee Marshal. As always, this is just a very informal, open conversation between me and my audience. If you've got anything you want to say to me, like maybe you disagree with something I've said, maybe I've offended someone that you worship, or maybe I've said something about a gun you like that I've said something unfavorable about it, or I've said something good about something you think is garbage. Feel free to come in, challenge me. If you want, you can even come in the chat. We'll film a little episode of Spank the Yank, and you can educate me. Otherwise, if you just want to ask questions or suggest topics, whatever you want, doesn't have to be gun related, but everybody here is interested in guns. But we all have other interests too. You can ask things about cars, wrestling, motorcycles, pets, whatever you want to ask. Go ahead and ask. If you want to know my opinion on some controversial topics, political topics, never be afraid to ask. I don't shy away from political conversations. I'm not trying to be popular on the internet, not trying to create a cult following or anything. Only following we have is following Phil. If you're not a member of the Church of Phil yet, go be one. Go over to my website and buy any item from the Church of Phil section over there, and you will be featured on the closing credits of all my videos. Right now, there's not a whole lot of parishioners, so go over, buy yourself some Phil merchandise, become part of that rolling credits at the end, which shows you're a supporter of my channel and also shows you respect the almighty Phil. Someone the other day accused me of being a Satanist because of the Phil thing. And I'm like, you really need to get a life. But other than that, let's get started here. First off, I like to read the names of people that have ordered merchandise, because merchandise does go to support the Pets and Vets program. So I want to thank Brian Huff for his purchase over there. Let's see if he bought anything from the no, he bought a couple of hats. I think those are the first hats I've sold in a very long time. Nothing with Phil on it though, so he's not part of the church. Then we got Thomas Babcock. He got MAGA nets. I got him a few MAGA nets over there. And then we got, of course, John Mandrick. What did he order? There was some stuff he said he was going to get. Oh, he got the armored possum tee. He said he was going to get that one. So it's up, and so is the one that's the Acorn Wars, where the squirrel's riding the armored possum. He's got his guns and everything ablazing. So thanks to those people for helping support TYMP, a program where we provide at least 4 families every month with a firearm to protect themselves, their home, their family, when they otherwise wouldn't be able to afford to do so, because, the Second Amendment and safety isn't just for those that have the extra cash. It's for everybody. So we try to help out those in need. We try to be very Christian, even though I'm not a Christian, which gets me in trouble a lot with a lot of people on here. That doesn't mean I'm a Satanist, not because I'm a Christian. It's just, if you don't believe in one, you don't believe in the other either. So where was I? Also, I need to read, we got a couple new patrons. They're not paying patrons. They're not supporting the channel yet or the program, but hopefully they will. Hopefully I will win them over. It's Todd Hall, Nick Wan, is that right? And I don't know how you say this one. John Waldedusset. That sounds like he's got to have a sweater wrapped around his shoulders, like a tennis sweater and wearing tennis shorts. Got to have. Or maybe he's wearing a brightly colored suit. Remember, like when Jim Cornette used to, when he played the tennis playing rich kid character, he always wore the brightly colored suits, pinks and lime greens and all that other stuff, plaids. Maybe they're doing that. But all right, here we go. Let's get started. And at any time, if you want to become a supporter of our programs like TYMP or Pets and Vets, go over to TYMPpistolproject.com. Over there, you can become a patron and support Pets and Vets and the Friend program and the Voices program. You become a Subscribe Star member, where you primarily support TYMP, unless you join the Pet Defender tier, which supports Pets and Vets. Or you can go buy merchandise like my Willie versus Bruce shirt here, Steamboat Willie, reenacting the scene from Jaws. That's one of my favorite designs. I don't know if I like this better or the Grindhouse Pete. That's also a Steamboat Willie mashup. This is a mashup of Steamboat Willie and Jaws. The other one's a mashup of Steamboat Willie and Planet Terror. So I like to do mashups that other people don't think to do. So go on over and buy some of that merch. If you want to support TYMP, you can get there from this page right here, TYMPpistolproject.com. You can also register to be a beneficiary of the aforementioned TYMP program on this website. Excuse me. I never poured my soda. Supposed to do that before I start the chat. Now you're all going to have to watch me pour my soda. We'll get rolling here in just a second. I got one question that came in during the first part or during our shooting the Shiite with, not Shiite, that's not a bad thing to say. Shooting the sheet with Yankee, because I don't want to have to put the chicken sound effect in. Because if you say a cuss word within the first so many minutes of a YouTube video and you don't bleep it, they get you. So the shooting the sheet episode, not sheep, sheet. I'd never shoot a sheep. But as I was saying, we got one question coming in from that still that they threw in there that didn't really go with the show, so I saved it. It was Jacoby, and he's asking, best 22 for self-defense that holds more than 10 rounds. Well, I don't know that there is one, to be honest, because 22 doesn't lend itself to a magazine very well at all, much less anything like a double stack magazine. So, plus 22 is not anything I would consider for self-defense. 22 is a varmint round. It's for killing small varmints. That's what it's designed for. That's what it's good for. Now, will 22 murder someone? Yeah, if you want to, yes, it will. It's very violent. It's killed a lot of people throughout history, but it's not what I would choose ever. And because of it being a rimmed cartridge that is not set up for semi-automatics, makes it really hard to make a reliable gun that holds more than 10 rounds. And even with the 10 rounds, the grip angle's got to be so sharp because of the lip on the casings. It's one of the reasons I really don't like semi-automatics in 22. The only one I really trust at all is like, the, what's it called? Oh, something camper, I'm blanking on it. But that and the, like the 2245s and stuff from Ruger. But I always say, if you really want a reliable 22, get a revolver. They make 10-shot revolvers in 22. And you can even get some in like 8 mag rounds of 22 mag. I'd rather have that. It was my first revolver I ever bought myself. Was a Taurus 22 mag 8-shot. I think it was 8 shots revolver. Might have only been 7, but I think it was 8. All right. Now, with that being said, let's get over here to PayPal. See if we're. Oh, and remember, pay your tithes to Phil, you heathens. For those of you that don't do it, which most of you don't. All right, let's get over here. You preach like you're a Phil believer, but then when it comes to living the lifestyle, you don't. You don't. What is today? The 12th? Let's see here. That was a purchase. Thomas Babcock. Dale Rickety chimed in. These are always hard-hitting questions here. I'm always on guard when I see Dale Rickety put something in here. I got nothing. He probably sat up all night thinking that up. And I can say whatever I want about him right now because, he ain't here. It's late, 7:30. He's asleep by now. Everybody seems to forget Dale Rickety's like 106 years old. He still ain't awake. They put his pills in his pudding hours ago. He can sometimes stay awake for the 6 o'clock show, but a 7, I don't see that happening. And it's actually 7:30 right now. All right, let me get back to the questions. Now that we've ridiculed Dale Rickety long enough. Speaking of people deserving ridicule, John Heasley chimed in here. He paid his $2 tithe to Phil. Said, I sent you an email, subject backpacker stocks. Yes, I've got it up here to share when it comes time for emails. No one has resent me their emails where they sent me the HIC files yet. So I don't know if I'll be sharing any of those. Let's see here. Let me get back to the questions. I'll share that when I get to them. Luke Copeland also paid his $2 tithe to Phil and said, the Joker gun with the looks like 16-inch barrel. Oh, you mean it's like a oh God, why am I blanking on the Buntline revolvers? They got those really long barrels. It's one of those. You can actually buy guns like that. So they're like rifle barrels on a revolver. You can find them just in real life. I think is it Cimarron still makes them, and maybe one or two others. They probably are all made by O'Bearty, but. Jason Thompson also paid his $2 tithe to Phil and said, late as shit tonight, Yank sent emails in pop with Bubba. I saw the emails you've been sending. I was looking at them throughout the day, some from yesterday and today. Some of these cops in these videos, it's like, how did they make this guy sheriff and not know he's a criminal? Their names are like, Jimmy Two Thumbs Tortilla or whatever his name is. It's just weird. The names just come across very mobstery to me sometimes. But no, it's not late. We always do it at 7 on Wednesdays. That's our normal time for Wednesdays, 7 p.m. People should know that by now. That was Officer Tater Hager, by the way. Kevin Payton chimed in. Kevin Payton. And what he say? He said, "Hail, Phil. Are your turkeys still attacking your family? Is it very possible they are a new breed of were turkeys?" Now, they're just regular turkeys. Turkeys are assholes. They're almost as big assholes as geese. It's geese are the worst, and then turkeys and chickens. They are not very polite animals. They're very territorial and mean. But no, we haven't seen as many of them over the last few days. Last few weeks, actually, because it's been winter. So they've gone down to a lower altitude. They haven't been staying up here. But I did see a female turkey in the yard yesterday. So I'm thinking now that it's warming up, they're coming back up. But for a while now, they've been, when it gets really cold, they go down lower. When we've got snow up here and stuff, they don't stay up here in the snow. They go, they only got to go down 200 or 300 feet, and they go below the snow line here. So they go down there and stay for the winter. Although there's one that stayed up here because I put food out every day. So I think she just lived in our bushes and ate food. Because I put out in the winter, especially, I put out food every day for the animals, the squirrels and the deer. I put out a whole big 60-pound bag of feed every day. And I also put out a can of tuna every night there's a stray cat that comes up. And I think it's Sherman's brother, because he looks just like Sherman. Might be his sister. I haven't gotten close enough to tell. But looks exactly like him. And, he was a stray from down the road. So I'm thinking that it's his brother. So I put out a can of tuna every night for him. He cleans the bowl. Him or someone. I think sometimes a raccoon eats it. But but there's plenty of food out there for him. What was the first part of that question? Are the turkeys still? Yeah, that was the question. Okay. That was Kevin Payton. Mikey D chimed in and said, because Paul needs a hand, you're going over an hour since you was an hour late and we entertained ourselves. I was not an hour late. The show starts at 7. Did I not set it for 7? I might have actually set the time for the wrong time, but the shows on Wednesday start at 7. So don't pay attention to what I say. Pay attention to what, what's supposed to be, because I'm going to get it wrong. But the Wednesday nights are 7. If you looked at your Patreon post that I put on Patreon, it said 7. I remembered it for that at least. We have trouble going an hour. I run out of questions usually in an hour, much less go longer. Casey Seawright chimed in and said, why are there no P365 uncommanded discharge lawsuits? Because police don't carry those. That's exactly why. Police don't carry those. Ben Coors said, you should make a Phil coin emblem and put it on some grips for your 8-shot revolver. I've thought about making Phil coins. You can have custom coins made. I'm thinking of making some brass Phil coins. They're expensive to make, but I might make some. John Logan paid his $2 tithe to Phil and said, are the magazine base plates of the Tomcat and Tomcat X interchangeable? You know, I don't know. I haven't tried to do it yet. I am going to try to do it. I mean, I could try to do it right now. I'll try to do it tonight, do a video and see, and I'll let you know tomorrow. But I want to do that because I want to put the shorter magazine in the new gun because the new gun has the better trigger, better sights, etc. But I don't like the extended magazine. And you can't use the magazine from the old gun in the new gun because they changed the position of the mag release. Now, I could take the old magazine and cut a little slot in it in the exact same spot and make it work in that gun, but I don't know if I want to go to that trouble. Well, not that it'd be a lot of trouble, but I just don't want to do it. But I need to find that out myself. I do need to find that out myself. That was John Logan. And Johnny Mandrick chimed in again here, and he said, any updates on the Washington state gun laws? Well, no, not really. The one about requiring training and a license to purchase cleared the House. So, or was it the Senate? It has to get through the House. I think it was cleared the Senate. It has to get through the House. But nothing really new that I know of. I haven't paid attention in the last day or two, but most of the gun laws here are just like waiting in limbo to see what happens in Illinois and Maryland and stuff like that. Oh, and I saw you. I saw you got your silver bullet today. Did you get your silver bullet? I saw it was delivered. Luke Copeland said, I'd like to give you the honor of naming my Taurus 65. Why are you naming a gun? If I get a name, I'm going to name it Shooty McShootface. Or, you know, Wheelie McWheelface. Something like that. Coral chimed in here and said, Hell, Phil, what's your favorite gun they don't make anymore? You mean of all guns or the gun I own that they don't make anymore? Of guns I own, they don't make anymore? I'm going to answer that one first. Oof. Oof. They've discontinued several guns. It's a toughie. I don't know if they make the all stainless elite versions of like the X5 and stuff anymore. If they don't, it'd be that. And the 239, I know they don't make that. So probably the ones I own, probably 239. Of ones forever, I don't know. I mean, most of the ones I really liked have come back, like the auto mags and stuff. So I can't afford one; they're so super expensive. But most favorite gun they don't make anymore. That's a hard question. I'm going to have to say the Night Guard series from Smith & Wesson, because those guns were ahead of their time. I wish they'd make them again. Wish they'd make them again. I could afford them right now, but I wish they would make them. Did I read Luke Copeland's earlier before I went to Jason Thompson's? Misread the topic. Whoops, the Naked Gun series had some good gun scenes. You know, I don't think I've seen the Naked Gun series, to be honest. I don't think I have. Luke Copeland also said, Wheelie McWheelface it is. If you don't name your guns, you're a madman. I don't name my guns. I've never named a gun. I don't name my cars either. I'm just not that kind of person. I don't. You name them, you're going to get attached to them, and if you have to sell them later, you'll be sad. I got enough to be sad over. I don't want to be that. Peter D chimed in over here and used his WAP chat to say, have you watched any of Taylor Sheridan's shows? I don't think so, no. Yellowstone, 1923 Landman. If not, then get with the times. Nah, I'm not interested in Yellowstone at all or any of those shows, really. Not my type of shows. I'd be bored off my ass. Ever use mink oil on your guns? It works great on leather and it's great for repelling water. Yeah, I use mink oil and other types of oil. You know, I've got all kinds of oils in there for different types of wood. Used to build custom furniture, and I did a lot of oil finishes back in the day. You know, get them mirror smooth and oil them, and maples especially look so good like that. But yeah, I use mink oil on some of my gun grips and stuff. But I gotta be careful because I gotta make sure not to let them touch my skin for long. You've seen the pictures of the rash I got from doing that by mistake one time. That was Pocket Sand asking about the mink oil. Flash in the Pan said, thoughts on the collector who favors amount over quality. A collector who says it's better to have 500 average handguns than 50 high quality handguns. Well, it makes sense in a way. If you're investing for profit, like if things get bad, like if you really truly thought society was going to have problems, well, then investing in 50 average guns is going to is way better, or 500 average guns is way better than 50 good guns, because when you're doling those out for cash to people to help people be armed and able to defend themselves in their homesteads, like in your community or something, you're going to have more to sell, and they're going to be worth about the same amount. People are going to be able to scrounge together the same amount of money per gun. Or, you know, you'll be able to demand high price for even the basic gun. Like, you know, I want 3 chickens and, you know, 2 pounds of butter, you know, whatever for a gun. So if you're investing for a bad situation, that just makes sense to do that. Plus, if you're just buying guns so later, maybe you think, you know, eventually in the future you're going to sell them or whatever, and you're just using them as like an investment or just as a piggy bank. Well, if you're in the future you're like, well, I got 10 Smith & Wesson Model 60s to sell. Well, those will be easier to sell those 10 Smith & Wesson Model 60s at a fair price than it would to sell 1 Core. So from an investor standpoint, it makes sense. The other way around is if you're like an enthusiast, if you appreciate fine firearms. Because, you know, rule of diminishing returns, there's nothing that my court can do that my Smith & Wesson 686 can't do just as well for, you know, not even a fifth of the price. So, and it would be much easier to resell if I had to. And if the world collapsed, if society collapsed and I had 1 Core or 10 Model 686s, every 686 is worth every bit as much as each Core. I had a video I was going to do about that, but I don't know if I ever put it out. I remember doing the graphics for it, but I don't think I ever actually filmed the video to go with the graphics. So, let me make sure we're caught up on the super chats over here. Nope, we got Kevin Payton weighing in here again. He said, if you use mink oil on your guns, how the hell do you keep the damn things from biting you? Well, they don't bite. Guns don't bite. And I'm not actually like, I'm not squeezing the minks onto the gun. I'm not like taking minks and rubbing them on the gun. I learned that lesson a long time ago. You don't do that. Doesn't work. That does get you bit. Stefan Carroll chimed in, used his 36-month WAP chat, says, going off your movie gun question, we a Smith & Wesson 629 from Dirty Harry and the AMT Hardballer long slide from the Terminator. I have the 29 at least. The Hardballer long slide is not a gun you'd really want. They're not as good quality as you think. They're cool, but it's like why I don't buy an auto mag. I don't buy the old ones because they're not the greatest quality, and the new ones are too expensive. The old ones are too expensive too now. All right, let's see where are we at here on questions. I think we're ready to get over to the live chat. We've only got 7 minutes left, so I don't know if I'm going to get to all of them, but we will give it a go here. Let me get back to my chat window. Let's see, where can I go? William Conrad, said Mikey D. Yes, that is the person that I was trying to think of earlier from Wild Wild West. The Born Supremacy, Walther P99AS two-tone, only pistol to hit Jason Bourne in the entire series. Great pistol, best Walther ever made. I do agree, it is a great pistol. The P99AS is, I think, one of the most underrated polymer guns ever made. Maverick, the TV show and movie. I didn't know there was a TV show. You missed my super chat. Did it before the stream started. I don't see it. Let me see if it shows up over on the other page. When I go over here, earn supers. I read that. I'm looking here. Hold on. Oh, yeah, you did do one before. You didn't show yours. Heat with Pacino and De Niro. Well, it won't be in the actual thing, but someone mentioned Heat. So at least one person mentioned it. All right. And I answered Flash in the Pans. That was about the collectors who favor quality over or quantity over quality. Oh, right. Let's get back over here. When you were at Fort Huachuca, or Huachua, as a lot of people say, did you visit Tombstone, Arizona? You know, I think I did, but it's at a very chaotic time of my life, and I can't remember exactly of anything about doing it. I think I remember that we did it, and I remember being okay, we've done that, and not really forming any long-term memories of it. So I couldn't prove that I did in any way, but I think I did. Miami Vice had some cool guns. Yes, it did. I never watched Miami Vice though. Oops, it kicked me down to the bottom. What I know is that where Marshall believes in opossums and werewolves. Well, of course I believe in opossums. Well, we got possums everywhere. Werewolves, yeah. Who doesn't believe in werewolves? The only people who don't believe in werewolves are people that have fallen victim to the werewolf propaganda machine. You know, those people go disappearing every year. Nobody ever knows where they went. Werewolves. The government covers it up. You know how many boyfriends and husbands are sitting in jail right now because their wife or girlfriend disappeared and the government pinned it on them because they didn't want to admit there's werewolves? It's just the way it is. Jason Carter used blah, blah, blah for question. Any thoughts on what the most pointless or convoluted firearm ever made is? Oh, God, there's so many. I don't know what would be the most pointless or convoluted one. The most convoluted would probably be that one that took all the different calibers. Remember that revolver? It took so many different calibers. That one's very convoluted. As far as like just out and out worthless gun, God, there's been so many that but it's so easy to label something as worthless when really it's just maybe thinking outside the box or just different. Like some people would say those zip guns are the most ridiculous guns ever built, but then other people will be like, those are so fucking cool. Someone really thinking outside the box. So it really depends, I guess. Emailed you a sub. Oh, I didn't get to the emails, did I? Here, hold on. Let me share screen window. Boom. There's the pictures. OD Green is Ruger 1022. I can tell that looking at it. Gray is Ruger PC carbine. He's got his 2 backpacker stocks. I don't even have one. He bought himself 2. He didn't even buy me one. That's what kind of person he is right there. Greedy. Self-indulgent. Did anybody ever resend those pictures with the HEMI files? Did they ever come through? No, they're not showing. I can't. I'd have to launch GIMP, but I don't want to launch GIMP. It screws up my computer. All right, let me get back to the questions over here. Was Victor Maitland from Beverly Hills Cop related to Adam Maitland from Beetlejuice? I don't think so. I don't know, though. I never asked him. Never came up in our many conversations. A bunch of turkey road pizza and grilled turkey on U.S. Highway 2 to Idaho. Yeah, they ain't bright birds. They don't get out of the way. Would you kill a turkey if it attacked someone in your household? No, both my kids have been attacked by turkeys. I don't kill the turkey. I tell my sons, stop being an asshole and get away from the turkey. The chat was scheduled for 6. Well, you know it's at 7 on Wednesdays. We came in when the doors open and you was an hour late. Well, who's the sucker there? Would you rather have a Winchester lever action or a Henry Golden Boy? Depends on which lever action, which Winchester. Is it a Winchester 1892? Preferably a mare's leg. I'll take that. I have seen all the World War II movies I ever wanted to see. To me, the genre is oversaturated. Well, it's kind of a touchstone in American history. So you see a lot of stuff about it. And at least those are mostly sort of historically accurate, not like, revolutionary stuff and, pioneer days stuff. Oregon 114 was upheld by the appellate court and kicked it back down to the lower court, saying it was constitutional in Oregon. Well, that's Oregon. I ain't paid much attention to them today. The new Fantastic Four movie has the most realistic looking Ben Grimm character. He has the authentic face and body created by Jack Kirby. I've seen some of the clips from that. It looks like it might end up being either really good or really bad. Where did you get the G10 grips for your Tomcat 30X? I took them off the Bobcat because they came on the Bobcat, and the grips are interchangeable. If you don't name your guns, then who named Gary? Gary was just named Gary. I didn't tell him his name. He told me. I never named that bitch. I sent you some emails. Well, I saw, but I can't share them because they're HEIC files. So not going to work. And you never resent them. Maverick, the TV show, starred James Garner, and Maverick, the movie, was Mel Gibson, and they were Westerns. Are you sure? Wasn't Maverick like a Top Gun spinoff or something? Or was that something else? I don't know. My brain ain't all right. I've had a lot of concussions in my life. I've had at least 8 concussions. So I used to ride BMX and motocross. I've had a lot of concussions. I once had a cracked skull, a hairline fracture in my skull right through here. We couldn't figure out why I was having intense headaches to the point where they did sinus exploration. They did everything. They even did an MRI. Finally, they said they were going to do an MRI because they had ruled out everything except for a brain tumor, a hidden brain tumor. So I had to wait for like 2 weeks to get it, thinking I had a brain tumor. And then they sent me in, I got my MRI, and they came back afterwards, and they sent me back for some more x-rays. And then I came in, and they're like, oh, well, you have a hairline fracture in your skull that we missed. That's why you're having such bad headaches. Because the doctor said, I asked you, did you have any head injuries? And I'm like, well, I didn't have any head injuries. But I didn't have any head injuries when I started having the headaches. But I remembered, like a week before, maybe even more than a week to 10 days before, I've been riding my dirt bike, and I've been looking back over my shoulder at someone I was riding with, and I caught my front, the bolt comes out of your front wheel on your front tire, caught it on a tree and threw me over the handlebars, and I went face first into a tree. It wasn't a big tree, about this big around, but I went face first right into it, just blam, and it knocked me out. But for a second or two, but then I never thought anything of it again until I started having the headaches. And I would have said, well, that's probably when I fractured my skull. So my brain ain't perfect. Plus, I got a little bit of the tism, so got to deal with that too. All right. I think that does catch us up, and we're out of time anyway. So we got everything answered. I even got through all the chat questions, even though it was we went over time to do it. But I want to say thanks to everybody for coming. We'll sign off here, and then we'll do a giveaway for the last of the threaded threaded barrel protectors. So thanks to everybody for coming. I appreciate it. Thanks for keeping the conversation rolling with your questions and your topics. If you all want to come in and participate in our live chats, like I say, we do them every night at 6 p.m. except for Wednesdays when they're at 7 p.m. like today. So come on in, have a good time, talk about whatever you want to talk about. You will be welcomed. So come on in. I hope to see you soon. Until then, remember, always carry and stay safe until I see you again.